So, I was watching a video on Star Wars Battlefront 2 a few weeks ago. A few months ago, actually. Hold on. So, a few months ago. And they mentioned uh, that the story mode basically just became Star Tours. A little pun that they made. Because basically, one minute you're having Iden Versio's story being told. So this video is about Arrow Season 8. And actually, in Arrow Season 1, the lady for Iden Versio was actually playing McKenna Hall in Arrow. Go back and watch her episodes. And then I had to look that one up actually though, because I was like, she looks familiar, but it might not be her. But then Quentin Lance, played by Paul Blackthorne, I think is his name. I always feel like I'm getting that name wrong. He is actually in Battlefront 2 as well, playing one of Iden's allies turned enemies. And I don't know when else I'll be able to talk about this, so I guess I'll talk about it now. There's a lot of crossover from Star Wars and DC for some reason. You would think Star Wars and Marvel, but not so much. And specifically the Arrowverse, actually. You have Mark Hamill, best known for playing the Joker and Luke Skywalker. But he also plays the Trickster on The Flash, the James Jesse one. I don't too much care for the Axel Walker one. But then you have, aside from the two I've mentioned, there's also someone else. I thought, who I can't remember. Anyways, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 version of the Star Tours thing. Because one minute you have Iden's story, and the next you have Luke Skywalker for no reason at all. Then you go back to Iden, and then Leia for no reason at all. And I believe immediately after Leia's level, you have Han Solo's level. And then you go back to doing Iden. So people didn't like that. But I think that's exactly what they should do on Arrow Season 8. In a perfect world, you have Warner Brothers letting the Arrowverse do whatever with whoever. But obviously Warner Brothers has a thing. And it seems like a little bit of Arrow is going to be basically them on tour. And a little bit of, like, just kind of nods to their past and maybe the future that they could have had. Something like that. Because we know that Tatsu Yamashiro is coming back. Katana in the episode Welcome to Hong Kong, which is also the name of an Arrow Season 3 episode, I think. Could be wrong. But anyways, that's Katana's main appearance. I think Katana's appeared every now and then. Weirdly, once in Arrow Season 4. That her appearance really didn't make sense, and she didn't even do anything interesting, I don't think. But more Katana's cool. But Warner Brothers doesn't let the Arrowverse do a whole lot. I'm not 100% on why. Some of it I understand, some of it is just ridiculous, but whatever. But basically, what I really would love to see out of Arrow Season 8 is it's just like Batman the Brave and the Bold, the cartoon. It's not funny. I mean, it's not like a comedy. I don't want Arrow to turn into Legends, don't get me wrong. But every episode is a new Batman team up. And they're doing something like, for instance, so in Arrow Season 8 episode 1, I think that they should not do the whole team up thing. It should just be Oliver, and then he's running into new guys every now and then. But Arrow Season 8 episode 2 is going to have Katana. And they're going to be in Hong Kong. probably. Don't know why they did in the episode that if they weren't going to be there, but whatever. But then in season 3, but then in episode 3, which we know is not going to be the case, but just, this is factually incorrect. Just stick here, or stick with me. Maybe, and you know what? We're not even going to adhere to Arrow's current canon. Say Deathstroke is a bad guy. Maybe, he goes to another universe, and he hangs out with Deathstroke, or not hanging out with Deathstroke. He's hanging out with the Titans, and then suddenly the Green Arrow and the Teen Titans have to fight Deathstroke. Just have him go on these awesome team-ups, and maybe every now and then go against the plot. This would work better if the final season was going to be the standard 23 episodes, but last season was 22, and this season is going to be 10, so that goes out of the window. They probably won't have a whole lot of time for the whole Star Tours thing, which in this case I need to find a better name for, because it's not Star Wars anymore. But yeah, let's say we don't go with the Arrow canon, we go with the comic canon for whatever reason. I don't know why we're doing that, but Green Arrow's hanging out with the Titans, and then suddenly he has to fight Deathstroke. Maybe he's working with Batman, and he has to fight the Joker, and then he's hanging out with Superman, and suddenly he has to fight Darkseid. So those are just some examples that don't adhere to the Arrowverse canon. But let's go with the Arrowverse canon example, since I got the introduction out of the way. A 7-minute introduction. Wow. That's a new one. But since we got the introduction out of the way, let's go. We have so Deathstroke has a favor to Ask Oliver, and they end up fighting Joseph Wilson. Or what was his other name? He had like a bunch of names that he went by in Arrow season 6. But yeah, Joe Wilson, and they have to fight him. He's hanging out with, or he's doing something with Deathstroke, and they have to fight the new Deathstroke. What's his name? He has a code name, right? We'll just call him Joseph Wilson. Don't know what just happened, but it's like I can feel a very painful heartbeat in my finger. It's just feels like there's a nail in there, like someone is currently hammering a nail into it. I don't know what this actually looked like, but it's supposed to be me holding a hammer and just. But anyways, that's a dog barking. Not my dog. But then you have what I would really love to see: the Green Arrow working with the GCPD to stop Batman. Because in Batman's origin stories, it typically takes a while for the cops to actually start trusting him. And at first, it's only Gordon. Well, at first, Gordon wants to catch Batman. It's like the Arrow thing with Quentin Lance. He goes from wanting to catch the guy to him being his greatest ally. With actually a few, in Batman Arkham Knight, when Gordon figures out that Barbara Gordon is Batgirl, and then Oracle, where he's just like, she's all I had, and then suddenly Batman's his enemy again. It's like that, just like that. So, but except this was when way more understandably than Gordon. Now Gordon, I felt that it was justified, but with Quentin, it was way more justified because Quentin was like, you weren't even going to tell me my daughter was dead. You weren't even going to tell me. You know, that kind of thing. I was like those episodes made me sick. I was just like, oh, wow. I can't believe they're doing that. Cannot believe this at all. However, I also understood, you know, their point of view. Like, oh, yeah, your heart, it will kill you. But yeah, why is it called cardiac arrest when your heart does not take prisoners? This is a question no one has ever answered. They always just laugh. It's not funny. I'm wondering. These are serious questions. But anyways, so, you know, maybe the Green Arrow is working with Gordon, of Earth 4, I don't know. And suddenly Gordon, is like, yo, we gotta get that Bat guy. And Green Arrow was like, on my Earth, that dude's cool, but, you know, whatever, I gotta go get the Bat guy. Hey, are we gonna see Gordon on Batwoman? If so, I hope he's played by Ben McKenzie. That guy's like the definitive TV show Gordon. I hope I got the name right. The guy from Gotham, I mean. Anyways, I'm hallucinating. Anyways, then we have you know, maybe episode 3 is him working with Batman and taking down the Joker. Or episode 4, I mean. And then you have episode 5 being him working with Superman, which actually isn't out of the question because they have Superman already in there. And then episode 5 episode 5 is working with Superman and taking down Darkseid. I would really love to see that. Just having the Green Arrow dodge the Omega Beams would be kind of cool. Also, one other thing I want is for the Green Arrow to have several close calls, because we already know he's going to die. And so, you know, if the crisis actually starts for him a few episodes earlier than the actual crossover event will be, then he'll be like, this is where I die, you know? And so maybe he gets hit and blasted with the Omega Beams, and it seems like it's going to kill him or something, but he just gets flung through the wall, and maybe they're in a giant tower, so he, you know, hits the ground, and he should be dead, but he's the Green Arrow. It's like saying, oh, he should be dead, but he's Batman. It's the same thing here. And then the next one would be, I don't know, he's working with someone that he thinks is his friend. It turns out to be the bad guy, and I don't know who that would be, but maybe it's Ares manipulating him, and then suddenly he's fighting Wonder Woman. But then they figure out that, you know, they're on the same side. So he works with Wonder Woman to stop Ares. And then Ares stabs him, and then Green Arrow's like, oh no, this is where I'm going to die. But then you guys hear that banging? You guys hear that, right? Yeah. And then maybe he I'm just trying to list off superheroes to get my point across, but the Flash is already a thing, so that wouldn't be a surprise. Maybe he's working with Nightwing and he has to fight. He's working with Nightwing and he has to fight. It doesn't have to be anyone interesting. Just fighting with Nightwing would be cool. Not fighting with Nightwing, but fighting alongside Nightwing. Fighting with Nightwing would be pretty interesting too. But you guys get the point. Having all these awesome team ups, that one after another. They can't really do that, but it just becomes Green Arrow, the Brave and the Bold. That'd be awesome. Don't know where that came from, but yeah, that's really all. So I don't know what that sound is, but yeah, that's all I guess. But yeah, I just think that would be really cool, and yeah, just really cool. So bye.